Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Elite Real Estate Podcast on another Friday morning, live on KGCI Radio and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and Twitch, Twitter, and I think I have all of them at that point. I think that's all. I think that's all the spots that we're at. But a good morning again on a Friday morning. I've got two special guests in the studio with me. You can see them on screen now. Brooke and Marissa, welcome in, guys.
Hi.
I'll even give you my applause on the board. How about that?
Ooh,
There you go.
we're special.
Yeah. There you go. That's our post-COVID audience, our live audience. So welcome in, guys.
Thanks.
We're excited to be here.
I was excited when we talked and got you guys to come in and have a little conversation there. Now, I told you guys when we were just standing outside the studio, because Brooke wanted to have a big conversation about everything. And Brooke asked me leading up to this, like, hey, can you send me some questions that we're going to have? And for those of you that have been on the show, no, I don't send any questions out.
No.
It makes Brooke very nervous.
Well, yeah, this is not comfortable.
She does better when she can be more prepared.
Yeah.
Where I am, I don't know, and it's probably from like my years with you and Kurt, and like we go on the flow, on the fly, figure it out, and you're prepared. Like we know, we know how to answer questions.
You
We
just
know
have to
what we
answer
do
first. I need 20 seconds to think.
Yeah, and she's like, or I'll just like repeat the question back, right? Like that's the thing.
What do you think, Jimmy?
Yeah. And that's a sales technique,
Yeah.
right? Like you just throw it back, ask a question with a question,
Yeah.
right? Answer a question with a question. But no, I'm excited to have you guys in because you guys got something special going on. And that's what I wanted to have you in on about, to talk about, are you consulting? Like,
Yeah.
and to talk about that. And you were the brainchild behind this, right?
So it's actually very much both of us. That's what, like a lot of people I don't think realize. And people will say like, oh, you're working with Marissa now.
Right.
Like, no, it's been Brooke and I the whole time. Like there would be no Are You without both of us.
Yeah.
So the cute little like quick-ish story behind it is Brooke, well, I guess like taking it one step back further, like history-wise, Brooke and I met, like we obviously used to work together out of Z's office, out of Novi, and Brooke worked for a different office. Well, at the time when I was running the operations for Z, I felt alone. Like there's literally nothing for operations people out there, at least not that I could find. There was 7 million sales call. You want to attract, you want to recruit, you want to sell more money, blah, blah, blah. Like there was a call for everything.
Not for us.
There was nothing like, okay, you guys come back from these big events and things, and you're like, cool, go build this. We need to do XYZ campaign and this and this and this. And I found this new system. Figure it out.
No one taught us how to do it.
No one tells you how to do it.
No, we just did it.
And there's no
But
support.
you didn't do it.
You didn't do
learn
it.
about it.
Yeah.
And then came back to us who didn't go
Right.
and said, create this.
Do
and we're
this.
like, what even is that?
Yes. So
Like it's this thing that does cool things.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like we always made it happen, right?
Right.
Like that's what we do. But that I came up with this idea of like, there's gotta be other me's out there that feel the exact same thing. And so I put together what I came up with just as like the integrator mastermind. We were doing EOS at the time.
Yep.
And I'm like, there's gotta be more me's. Let's all get together on a call, especially after these big events, and be like, let's do this together. Like, do you already have a template for that? Did you already build out FUB before? Like, how the heck do I do this and save me some effort? And it was awesome. We did it for about a year, and we had a small little group of us, 6, 7 of us on the call, and it was fun. So that's where Brooke and I met, because she was running a team. And then they ended up coming over to our same brokerage. So then she came and did some like one-on-one training with me to like do the onboarding. And we just got to know each other better throughout the calls and that experience. And then when that all shifted over time, she ended up going back into like the serving world. Well, then I had Kurt's assistant position that we were filling, and he was asking for some help. And I'm like, you know what? We should talk to Brooke. Like, I loved her. She was so fun. And I think you guys, like, personality wise, would get along. She was great. Like, she was a great doer, super task oriented. Like, I think you'd love her. And he knew her through a mutual person, like just not well. And so, yeah, we set up the interview, and it's been like almost 2 years now. Yeah. Shocker with Kurt, right?
I was going to say, you were with Kurt. So
I was like, wow, we really hit it off.
Yeah. So that was,
you didn't know he could talk to anybody for 4 hours.
It's okay. It's okay.
But now, like, you also know that's your life now. Like, if it was a 4-hour interview, like, you got to know what you're signing up for at that point.
Yeah,
You're right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So she
love it.
came in as that, and then that's been almost 2 years, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Next
And
week.
we pretty much right away, because I was on that verge right when Brooke was coming in of like, I started going to the events. Like I wanted to learn more myself. I wanted to get ahead of it so I could bring more value to this little community that I was building and just for myself in general. Like I'm always trying to grow and build and learn more. And so I started attending events. Well, Brooke went with Kurt to be able to like have attraction conversations. And so we ended up sharing rooms
Mhm.
and splitting things that way. And that was so fun.
That was our first like real like connecting.
Yeah.
time. Like we were
Yeah.
always friends, but like when you share a room with somebody for a week,
Well, now you're causing trouble too.
yeah, we had a little fun while we did it.
Yeah.
We had a little fun.
Yeah. So we had a really good time, got to know each other really well there. And that's where like we had the first little taste. Again, come full circle here. First little taste of everyone would be at these events. They would be like, wow, oh my gosh, if I just had a Marissa or a Brooke, right? If I just had a Marissa, if I just had a Brooke. And it became a theme at events that we went to. And we're like, wow, this is fun. Like, this is cool. But it assured us like, okay, we're doing something right. Like if all of these really high level people are like, oh, if I just had a Marissa or I just had a Brooke.
And we're like, how do you not? Like,
Right.
How are you doing all the things you're doing and you don't have one?
Yeah.
That's the part of the problem is like all of us think we can do all the things,
Mhm.
and then it's like sand in your hand, right? It just
Yeah.
starts falling through your fingers, and you can't hang on to all of it. And that's where a Marissa and a Brooke come in and
Right.
put your hand under mine. They're like,
Yeah.
nope, just
Yeah.
we'll all hold it together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Let me
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like such a good metaphor for it, to be honest, because it's not that we're coming in and replacing or doing like we have sold. We've sold
Yeah.
hundreds of homes between the two of us ourselves. Like
Yeah.
we love selling truly and working with clients. We love the real estate side of things. We just are good at the operation side, if not like really good at certain parts of it. And most salespeople aren't and have no desire to do it. So that's kind of, I think one of the things that made us stand out to people is we get the sales side. We're good at selling. We understand client experience, but then we're really good at the operation part that you guys hate.
Yeah.
And so we can come in and be that person that like catches it. We understand your role. We don't try and replace that. We don't try and be that or serve that. Like you do your thing really well. We're going to come in and just catch all the sand. Make sure another lead doesn't slip through. Make sure your cousin doesn't end up buying with somebody else. Like we implement these different things that just support you. We catch it all basically. So that was such a good metaphor. I love that one actually. And
There's the bills in the mail.
yeah.
Don't worry, I'll send you
We'll work something out.
Yeah, I figured.
And so RU came just like the last 2 seconds of that story. As we saw this pattern evolving at events, we would start asking questions. And honestly, like we would use Kurt, Mark, you, us, like all of these characters where it's like, okay, well, like, what is your role? What is your favorite part? What do you
you're a
love
Jimmy.
doing? And we put like characters to our names instead of like a disc or a working genius, right? Like it was like, oh, like you're the Kurt. No, you don't need a Marissa. You need a Brooke. You need a this. You need a Mark. You need a whatever, right? Or like maybe you are the Mark, or maybe you don't ever want to be Mark. You want to be a Chad, a top producer, right? So we would use our little team that we had built and been a part of for so many years that a lot of people knew. We would use us all as these little characters, figure out who these people were, and then we would say, oh no, you need this. So then we reversed it. And we were helping out lots of other people at this point, right? Like we were just all behind the scenes. Like you and I have worked on random projects. Like people would just call us like, hey, can you help with this event? Hey, can you help with this? Hey, can you help with that? And so that's where it kind of started, was we're like, oh, this is fun. Like we could do this for a lot of people. Like maybe we can.
How does helpers at heart? Like,
yes.
It's not, just for business. Like it's in general, like we just like to help people.
Yeah.
So we were saying yes anyway.
Yeah. We were just like figuring it out and like saying yes and making stuff happen. That's like one of our little mottos is like, just say yes and figure it out. You've probably heard me say that a million times. Like I would just tell you guys like, okay, yes, like, all right, we're in, I'll figure it out.
Because we've known each other for so long now, which is a big growth for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't always this way.
It was not always this way. No, I had to morph and adapt. And if I really wanted to grow and scale and make it like in any form of this business, honestly, like you have to say yes. Yeah. Otherwise you're going to stay small. And if you're happy with that, cool. Like not everyone wants to be super big and do all these crazy things. Like there's a lot of people out there perfectly happy, and like 10 transactions would feel amazing for them to change their lives.
We had that conversation yesterday.
Yeah. Not everyone has to be this huge mega producer or run these big teams or have these big businesses. And there's nothing wrong with any level in between at all. So that's truly where it came from, is we would have these conversations with people, and it's, are you this? Are you that? Are you looking to blah, blah, blah? Are you looking to do this? And so then when we were sitting down, and I'll let Brooke tell like the little story of the LLC, because that's like our other cute little story. But when we were sitting down trying to come up with a name of like, okay, like if we're going to start telling people about this, like we've got to have like the name for the LLC. We have to be able to like have something, right? And we were looking up different words of like things that like meant something to us or whatever. And I literally had gone to the bathroom for a second because we were.
I was gonna say, how am I gonna say that she went to the bathroom? Like, can I say
and
that out loud?
I texted her from the bathroom. I'm like, I got it. Like,
she's like, oh my god, I know.
And I like, this is it. This is it. And I'm like, this is 100% what it's called. It's just, are you? Because we can spin it and use it for marketing. Like, are you looking to grow? Are you looking to blah blah blah?
It was perfect.
But then it was also, are you a Jimmy? Are you a Brooke? Are you a Marissa? Are you a whatever? So we can keep this like character thing that's worked really naturally for us, and then just grow it that way, but use it for the marketing too. And then Kurt actually helped us with the logo part of it because I wanted to have it all written out.
It's on my hat.
And then Brooke's got her little hat on. So
I copied you because you always wear your swag.
You got
I
it.
was like, I'm gonna wear mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have like that's one of the Robert Courtney. Shout out to Robert Courtney, right? Like you have to put it everywhere.
Yeah.
You have to put it everywhere.
It's just a part of us now.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're becoming more known for, and it's fun just through like social media and stuff. And even like my friends or our friends, when we're talking to them, they're like, you guys are everywhere. Or people that we don't really know that well, like you're everywhere. And I'm like, it's just social media. I just post every day. Like, it's not anything that crazy, but like that's the power that this stuff can have, and it's consistency. And so that's again where we can come in and just kind of like catch those falling pieces for people. And it's like, where are you falling short? Where are you struggling? What part do you hate doing? And then we just make that consistent for them and take away some of those pain points.
I love that. I love that. So we've got some chatter over here.
Oh, fun.
Ron said Brooke would do great during a police interrogation.
What? Oh, because I get nervous. Ron's always teaching me something.
Jeff Garner says 2 rock stars on today. Great ladies. What else? Mindy from Indy says hello. Lisa LaRue says good morning. So everybody's watching.
Well, good morning, everybody. Fun.
But no, so the are you part is genius. And you are doing disc profiles. You're just doing it with your own characters, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
We created our own system.
Well, it's your own avatars in a sense, right? Because we always say like pick your avatar, like pick the client that you want to work with. And target that client. So you guys have done that, but you've done it with like different scenarios, right? Like you can say, all right, well, here's how I work with this person, and here's how I work with that person. And it's great because you do have 2 different personalities, very similar but different.
We're very different.
But you know,
different working styles. So if you've heard of working genius before, like that's a thing that we reference a lot when we're talking with clients. And we work better with people that are missing the parts that we don't have, because then we fill them more naturally and we offset each other. But personality wise, like in general, we're both very positive people. Like we would drain each other if we weren't. Like we're both very positive, very optimistic, high energy.
What's it called? Like always being on. Like when you go on vacation with somebody. I just went on a trip with somebody else, and they were like, just so you know, like you don't have to feel like you're always on around me. Like we're sharing a room, whatever. Like she told me, she was like, just if you want to chill, you can chill. And I was like, I'm always on. Like, what do you mean?
Right.
I'm like, you can turn off. I'm gonna stay on. Like, I'm good. Morning to night.
Yeah.
So like personality wise, we're the same on that front. I think that's why we've gotten along so well so quickly. It's our working styles that are exact opposites from each other.
Yeah.
I love the front end of stuff. Like I could sit here and ask you a million questions and it would fill my cup. Like I would love that. I love nothing more. I love hearing about your business and dreaming, and we can bounce off each other. Yeah. And Brooke wants to shoot herself. Like seriously, if she sits on another Zoom with me, she's like, Marissa, I haven't done enough today.
Can I turn my camera off? Can I just get to work? Like this is crazy. Like, am I allowed to be on my phone? I don't even want to be on here.
Yeah. So put Brooke on a Zoom, and like that's why, like for any of our people that ever work with us, like love you. It's not a you thing. It's a Brooke thing. Like she hates being on the Zoom meetings.
Do you really want me to listen to this, or do you want me to work for you for an hour? Because we're done.
She'll get a lot done. Yeah. So like that's where we're just very different.
This morning is true torture for you then.
No, this is absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
She's getting nothing done. She has no preparation.
I also don't get up this early.
Well, you know what? You sound like everybody else that's been on here is like, you do this at 7:30? I'm like, a.m.? I'm like, yeah, 7:30 a.m. But I have to alter sometimes because I do have people on the West Coast that want to come on.
Sure.
Right.
So I do have to alter sometimes because they're like, it's 4:30. I'm not doing
Yeah,
it.
that's
at
just
4:30.
too much.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm like, I can't even ask you to do it.
They would be classified crazy.
Yeah. Dante said, good morning, my friends. Big fans from Dante. But yeah, so the thing that you guys picked up is like you're doing a disc profile, but just differently.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what was a Working Genius.
Working Genius.
So what is like I've heard you guys talk about it. I've talked to Kim about it. Kim's like, oh my god. Everybody I've talked to that used it is like it's the best.
It changes
like,
the
it's
way
a
you
good
work.
life changer.
100%.
Yeah.
Kim was probably one of our best ones at like it really changing things for her, like a deeper understanding of it, which Kim's also great. Kim added me, by the way. She's from this local area in our market and things. She is so great. She is a task-oriented person, which we discovered with her Working Genius. So it works really well for those type of people's brains.
Right.
But where it, I think gives more relief to is the people that are like more on the my side of the world, and probably even your side, Jimmy, is like it gives us some like reason behind the way that we think. Because otherwise we're like, man, I don't feel like I was like productive enough. I didn't check enough boxes. Well, no, I had like 7 sales calls today and I solved 3 problems.
Right.
Yeah, I handed the list over to Brooke so that she actually like executed and saw it all the way through. But like if I didn't have that call and like, again, where it would give her anxiety to like solve this big problem and have this big conversation,
Well,
like uncover.
Last night,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I literally, she can sit on all these calls and like understand all these things. She slept over last night and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I need you to like go through everything and make me a list so I can just do things. And I got like so much done in like 2 hours. Like, I was like, wow. She was like, you don't have to get to all this today. Like, you could get through it through the week. I'm over halfway done.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's Working Genius in a nutshell. Like
Yes.
truly. So it's the working flow versus like the entire thought process from someone literally sitting, and like I would use this as an example all the time. Like I would go and sit in the lobby of our office and I would be like, all right, I'm a client today. Let me just sit here and be like, what would I experience if I walk through these doors right now? What do I smell? What do I see? What do I feel? Like, am I greeted? What do I have? Coffee? Do I have water? Do I have something to watch?
Who thinks
like,
that?
I would sit there as a client coming in for my closing and be like, do I have a good experience, a bad experience? How can I make this better? That is the start of the entire working process, right? Because someone has to ask a question.
Yeah.
If there's no question, then no one's solving anything, and then there's nothing for a doer to do. So someone has to start by asking a question. And a lot of times, like that isn't thought of as work. And people be like, well, what do you do all day? And we get that all the time. You get that. We were talking about that with the chaos thing, right? Like people wonder, like, well, what the heck are you doing all day?
Yeah.
I'm asking a lot of questions. Like I'm trying to like create a problem almost. So that's how you start work, right? Is finding a problem, uncovering the root of it, figuring out where we even start. And then we can say, okay, cool. I've got 17 ideas to solve that problem. There's an inventor that's coming up with things. And then someone says, ooh, and this is where like me, you, Kurt would like really have a good dynamic going on. As we would sit there in the room, I would say, hey, we have XYZ that's coming up this year. We need to do this. I don't want to come up with all the answers. That's more your guys' lane and your natural strengths. And typically it's most leaders' strengths is they like coming up with ideas, but they don't necessarily know. And especially salespeople, they go to these events. They have all these ideas. They're shiny object syndrome.
Yep.
They have a whole list of 7,000 things that they want to do, right? But then they don't implement anything, or they do it all in the wrong order, or they do things that don't actually make sense for their business. So they need what's called a discerner, is what Working Genius calls it. And it's someone that's basically a filter for them. And it says, okay, yes, I love all of those things, which this is also where I've grown, right? Because it used to be like, no, we're not doing that. No, now it's yes, love all 17 of those ideas. This is the order we're going to do them in. So it actually makes sense for your business.
I love that.
No, you don't need this system to pay $1,000 a month right now. That would be when we hit X goal or when we actually have 10 people on our team. Then you need that automation or then you need that system, right? So someone that just filters and prioritizes it. Then we need the people that goes and gets everyone excited, which this was really much your role. I got another team leader, the sales manager. We go tell all the people because now sales agent, you actually have to go and learn this new. We implemented FUB. Congratulations, we're switching
tomorrow.
Yeah, go get everyone excited.
Learn a whole new system.
Great news.
We got to get everyone excited, roll it all out, tell the world, and then we need people that take the action and actually implement and
Or
check all the
ET,
boxes. Yeah, ET. So there's 6 of them. That was based like a very kind of morphed version of
Sure.
how it all flows, but it's ideas, asking good questions, discerning, filtering, figuring out the order that we should put it into, and then getting everyone excited and making sure that it's seen all the way through to the finish line. Like the T's are crossed and everything's executed at the highest level. I don't go back. I look. Like I'm already on to the next 17 things. So Brooke will make sure everything actually gets through to the finish line, where I'm like, nope, next meeting, all the next da. So that's where I just, here's your list, Brooke.
Here's your list.
So Brooke's like the power lifter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strong like boy.
I pick things up and put them down.
Yeah.
But no, so what you guys are talking about is so amazing because we've all seen it. We've all seen the agent that goes to EXPCon or to a build or to some big event, right? The Glover U, a big thing where they're just learning and they're taking notes and they're learning and they're jamming out and they're like, they leave there and they're excited and then they throw up and then, then it's all this information and then I'm going to start this system and I'm going to start that system. And then they got 6 systems going and none of them are working.
Correct.
And then they kick all of them away because the next one came out.
Yeah.
And AI has like even made it worse.
Yeah.
Because like, no, I'm gonna do this with AI, and I'm gonna do this with AI, and I'm gonna do that. I'm like, first of all, you don't even know what you're talking about, right? Like, stop with all the things. And the problem is, like, social media has made it look really cool.
Right.
Right. We're like, oh man, look what that guy's doing with it. I want to do that.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, no, it's not working the same. Why isn't it working the same as it's supposed to be working like that?
Yeah.
It's like, well, because you've got 3 other things that you're trying to juggle over here that are interfering with what you're trying to do over there.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that like everybody who's watching and listening right now needs to understand, like even the agent that does 10, 12 deals a year needs your help, right? That's not just for big teams and it's not just for big, mega teams.
Well,
and
we're mainly individual agents.
Yeah.
That's where we help the most.
That's where it would help the most.
Yeah.
Because typically with a team, they should be getting some help. They should have an ops person. They should have, but for the individual agent that's out there needs to find RU Consulting because that's where their business is fumbling right now is what you guys do.
Yeah.
And
a lot of them, that's the exact thing they'll say is like, I feel like I'm spinning my wheels and working so hard. And like Jimmy's out here doing 30 million and I have all the same systems. I listened to him speak on stage. I implemented exactly what he said. Why can't I do the 30 like he's doing? Well, it's because you didn't finish any of those things, right? And you didn't cancel the 17 other subscriptions that you had.
You have a CRM, but you're not talking to anyone.
You don't use it. Like, you're not picking up the phone and calling the people. Like Jimmy gave you your 90-day business plan. You implemented those things, but like then you actually have to call them. Like there's people to talk to in there, right? Like, or you don't know how to use Fub. Cool, you bought it. But like, do you know how to use a smart list and what that routine should look like every single day? And so that is the difference truly. And we come in and like help get them off that wheel. We understand the real problem we use. And that's like, we're not going to come in and just be like, here, spend $7 million on these new systems, yours stink or whatever. Or like, okay, 10 deal client. You don't need 17 things either, right? Maybe you need 2. We need a good Gmail. We need a good website and then maybe a CRM. Like we don't have to do these huge, crazy build out and overhauls. It's going to be based on your business and your goals. But if you're doing 10 and you want to do 30, then maybe we do need a CRM. Maybe that's our goal. And we just need to implement that. We need to get some newsletters going. Let's actually touch your database of 1,000 people that you've built. That's a good database. Good job.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people that don't talk to their past clients.
Yeah. You want to touch on newsletters for a minute?
I do want to hit you on the newsletters because I know that you guys have pushed that out a lot and I've seen it on all your stuff. Like, so what is it then? Like, tell me what that is, what that looks like.
Basically, I think a lot of people get it confused between lead generation and nurturing. So it's a nurturing tool. So people get all these leads, right? And then you're not converting them or you have your past clients. And it's basically you can take all of your leads in your database and you're going to put them on this list, right, for this newsletter, and it's localized. So I came up with this plan where every newsletter starts with an introduction. It'll normally tell you everything that's going to be in the newsletter. So like if it's going on a Wednesday, it'd be like, happy Wednesday. This week, like we're going to talk about a local event. I got a really cool new property that we just listed. I have this awesome tip that I came across when I was walking through a home inspection, and a bunch of the links are going to be in there, right? So after the introduction, we immediately start local, always, because that's what you care about.
Right.
I'm opening it because I'm Jimmy, and I don't know where to take my wife for Valentine's Day. And when you open my newsletter this week, it actually has I think one I just did in Troy, there's like this cool like whiskey cocktail like tasting thing, but I have like the ticket link, the time, I tell you where to get reservations, I tell you where to go to dinner before. Like I planned your whole date night right there.
I love
Click the
that.
button, done.
I might need that.
Might need that, right?
Sign up
So-
for our newsletters.
Right. So that's the first thing, and it's localized to you, right? So
Got
I've created all these chat GPT prompts where you just copy paste with your city and your state, and it builds all of it out for you. So after the local, then you input, your property that you want to do. It creates a description for you, it creates the links, click, go, has redirects to your website, so it re-engages your leads.
Yeah.
It's
And that's where
amazing.
people get a little confused with lead gen, or they don't see like the full benefits of having a newsletter, right? Is we're driving them back to your website. We're driving them back to your
Right.
value. So as an agent, you might talk to or attempt 5 times probably on average. I don't even know the average number anymore. Like a realtor probably between 2 and 5 times touches a client.
That's
right?
a lot.
Like I'm probably being a little generous.
Now we're weekly.
It takes 19 is the like latest stat that I've seen that came out
19
for
touches, yeah.
conversion.
Yep.
And so we will be 52 for you.
Beat that, Jimmy.
Yeah. And so Brooke
I only need
too-
19.
Wow. Brooke doesn't give
Overachiever.
herself enough credit either because she hand does these things every single week for our clients. And then where she was saying she's got the prompt. So if you maybe you're just starting out your business, or you have we have someone that is a lawyer. And she came to us and she goes, well, I do real estate on the side, but she goes, I have all these clients that I want to provide this value to. Does this make sense for it? And it's like, yeah. So she's got some capacity. She has an assistant. So we have like a package where we can just give you your whole year of all of your templates, your prompts, exactly what you should put in. So that way your year of email is done for you and you just copy paste, right? You can either yourself, it takes a couple minutes a week, or you can batch it out and just have it done for the whole freaking
month. For the month.
What do you
You
mean?
can batch it out for the month because it has to be local and relevant.
Oh, true. Okay. I mean, you could.
See, that's the G in her because she has
Yeah.
to be a G. So now I'm always like, Marissa, watch it.
Yeah.
Can't say that.
You
It's
could,
all about
in
timing.
theory, do it for the year, but you would want to come back and
You have
fill
to come
in
back
that
and
one.
change.
Yeah, yeah.
You
You want to,
the feature property. Look, I'm pushing you.
yeah. But I could get them ready in my flow desk.
That's good. I guess.
Because that's honestly, that's a chunk of it is just building out that
Yeah.
workflow and having
Oh,
the
yeah,
actual
templates.
emails exist. Yeah. So we do. We try. The point is, we
Welcome to
try and
Are
make
You
it-
Consulting meetings.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I
We
got.
do try and make it as easy as possible. And that's truly the point of it, right? Is it should just feel like minutes and copy paste.
Yeah.
Whether it's weekly or monthly or you do a bulk of it up front, it's just copy paste.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point of it is it's here, we have the year done for you, but it wouldn't be local or relevant then, right? Because
Right.
I don't have my fall.
The done for you is all the
events.
prompting, right?
Yeah.
I prompted out the whole year.
Yeah.
And that is relevant to time of year, holidays,
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
So it's all prompted. You don't have to think about Valentine's Day. It's already built into the year
Right.
campaign.
Right.
No.
And this comes from our years, all of this, right? Everything that we do for our clients, it comes from building other people's businesses for years.
Yeah.
And so we've been testing, which I will always give Mark Z the biggest shout out in the world, right? He was my test dummy for the last 6 years. No one knew that that's what it was, right? I was working for him and I was a big part of that team. You were a big part of that team for many years, Kurt. We got to learn and grow so much together because we went from 15 agents opening that first EXP office to we hit 120, 130
So
agents
insane.
Yeah.
and everything in between and 3,000 plus people in the downline.
Yeah.
We've done all the attraction things. We've done every event, right? So I got to experiment and grow. Brooke's been a part of that now the last year and a half to almost 2 years. Actually, 2 years is coming up.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah.
Next
That's
Thursday.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I-
6 days.
Yeah. And thinking about events, I'm remember back to the one that we had the Novi Expo Center. The
Yeah.
very first thing
Yeah.
we did, we probably dropped the ball on that thing 100 times, right?
You
And
needed me.
remember that.
Yeah, we didn't have a Brooke.
Well, and then you did the one at UWM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
500 people.
Yeah.
By myself.
And then probably dropped the ball a million times. You know what I
No.
mean? Look at
No, because Brooke's on it. She's
No.
a T. Every
There
T
no-
was
I did not
crossed.
miss anything.
No.
She tried to let the last event. I'm never gonna let her live this down.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the last event, I was like, wow, I freaking killed that. I killed that 2-day event. Killed it.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. So the only complaint I really got Seriously? I was like, you're not gonna let me have a moment. Sign. She said I didn't have enough people to know where to go. I was like, everyone knew where to go.
There was not one sign.
Why are you shaking? No,
I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I didn't say a word.
Can I like hit you with this thing? If I just swing it like a bat.
You could. Yeah, you could. No, it would no, but like no, it's constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's constructive criticism.
I'll
No,
never,
she was-
I'll
she
never
was not
not
happy
have a
about-
ton of signs ever again.
Yeah.
See, but that's a fix.
The one thing, signs.
Yeah.
It was still a great event. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that was, and this is where operation brains go too. But
Yeah.
like, even
Yeah.
before we were sitting in here for this podcast, we're like, well, where's it all go? Where's this? We did
Yeah.
research.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we want to know. Like, we
Right.
love and nerd out for all that behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
We want to, like, we want experience.
Help
to be
me
good.
understand.
Yeah. Help me understand. Where's it go? How's it work? What's the setup? What's all
Yeah.
these things?
What
Right.
does it look like?
Yeah.
This is it.
It's
Yeah.
that we're here.
This is it.
Right. And it's so cool because you have one system
Yeah.
that blasts out to all these places.
Yeah.
So you've got your setup well oiled here. You do your one thing and then it puts it out. Like you found that system, that's that solution for you.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. And then again, then we'll then I take it, then drop in Opus clips, and then it
Yeah.
clips it out. And you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just
perfect.
like it's so like with the AI stuff now. Like if you're like,
Yeah.
and I always joke, I'm like I'm 51, and I feel like I'm figuring this stuff out. Like everybody should figure this out.
Yeah.
There's not a date. And actually, yesterday, so now I'm getting calls of people like going, "Hey, can you help me with this Chat GPT thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what do you got?" And I'm like, "Wow!" I look back to that yesterday. I was like, "Wow, people are calling me for this now. This is
Yeah.
great."
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like you're young at heart.
Yeah, and they're like, "Hey, I want if I come to your office, could you show me how to do it?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like,
Yeah.
You can't just figure it out.
Right?
I
A lot
I
of you
did.
start to think it's easy, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, you know, I'm trying not to use a bad word. Good input gives you good results. Bad input gives you bad results, right? So if you don't know if you're putting in good or bad input, then you don't know what you're going to get out.
Right. And that's a great point because that's what you guys do,
Yeah.
right? See, we were talking about that earlier. Like, oh, I have all these systems, and I have follow-up boss, and I have dot loop, and I have all the things. Great. How are they working together?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know how you've plugged them in together or no? I don't know. Like,
Right.
I don't know how any of that works. I just kind of banged my head against the wall.
Yeah. I was to say we got Zapier.
Yeah.
If
Because
If
like,
you don't know what Zapier
Interface.
is, then like, yeah, give us a call.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's your answer right there.
Right.
Like if you don't know if you need help, that's how you know.
And then because the other problem is you have these high D personalities. They're going to get it done. They will go through the wall
Yeah.
to get it done. And where you guys are like, hey, there's a door right there.
Yeah.
You can just walk through.
Right.
You don't have to bang your head against the wall 3 times before you go through. You can just go through the door.
Right.
You guys are just showing us where the door is instead
Yeah.
of like us giving ourselves a concussion trying to
Yeah,
figure
right,
stuff
that's
out.
over here.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
It's easier. It's so much better. Hello?
Yeah, just open the door. Like,
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
this.
Right.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow, it's that easy, huh? Like,
Yeah.
but that's the amazing part about what you guys do and putting things together for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. It's been a fun journey. It's been 7-8 months now since we like officially started RU. And yeah, we just kind of did the LLC one day thinking like, oh, maybe we'll do it one day.
One day.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because we both had other full-time commitments that like did not allow for,
Sure.
not that like anyone was against ideas or growth or whatever by any means, because we
We were
have
just busy.
endless support,
Yeah.
but it was just busy. And then we saw an opportunity where like the timing just kind of made sense. Mark's team was super well oiled. I had an opportunity and he supported me endlessly. Kurt, Mark, both of them. And then so I jumped.
And I was like, I'm gonna stay for a little bit.
And then I think that's where people get confused, where it's like, oh, like Brooke ended up working with Marissa. Like,
Yeah.
no, it was very much both of us from day one. Like, we wouldn't have had RU without the
Right.
Are you Brooke, Are you Marissa, Are
Yeah.
you Jimmy conversation. Like, it was our brainchild. We sat there that one night just like
Yeah.
dreaming big, and we're like, let's
It was
do this
late,
one
yeah.
day.
We stayed in the office till like 8:00 and we ordered salad and we were just talking and getting work done. And we are like, let's just make the LLC. Let's just do it. Like, what's the big deal? Like,
Yeah.
let's just have it.
$100.
Buy
Yeah,
the domain.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, buy all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this idea.
Like, we've been taught how to do all this stuff for other people.
Yeah.
Like, let's just start it for us. You know, it's like GoGo always says, like, buy your first and last name.com.
Yeah.
Because you never know, like, when you're going to need it.
Mine's already taken.
Well, you should have listened.
Well,
Darn.
the guy's a pitcher in the major leagues, Jimmy Nelson. If you look it up, there's a guy that pitches in the major
Oh.
leagues. His name's Jimmy Nelson.
Maybe you just need like a less popular name then.
Yeah.
I know.
If you're a
Yeah.
Brooke Hazzard, that would never happen to you.
This is true.
Yeah, so it's been a good 7 or so months now, and we've been growing, and it's been really fun. And we've adapted though too, right? Because like we started with the idea of what it would be or what people would want, and then that's not necessarily
No.
what they actually
Right.
want and need in real life. We thought we'd be working with all these team leaders. It's almost all solo
individuals.
agents.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys too, because it seems to me like it's, and we've had conversations too
Mhm.
outside of this, but it seems to me like it has kind of redeveloped into something that different than it was even when it started.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was more like operation stuff, which it still is operation
Yeah,
stuff,
yep.
but not as much operation stuff, but it's just different operation stuff.
Yeah,
A lot of building.
it's all operations. It all
Yeah.
still is. It's all the behind the scenes boring stuff that realtors hate doing.
Yeah.
Like in a nutshell, that's our elevator.
Is that your
pitch.
tagline?
Like
Yeah, if you
all-
We
hate
do the
doing
stuff
it,
you hate doing.
we do it.
Yeah.
Like we're great at it. The
Yeah.
part you
Yeah.
hate and drains you, we rock.
Yeah.
And like that's
And we
us.
can't, it's hard to talk about because it's not attractive.
Yeah.
Like,
We were prepping for this.
Well,
We
you
were-
guys do sucks.
yeah, like we were talking, we're like, he's gonna ask us about are you, and like we should have things to talk
Yeah,
about
we're
or
like,
whatever. And
let's
we're
just
like,
talk about
let's
anything
not
else.
do that. Like,
Like,
let's
yeah.
not talk, like, 'cause it's boring.
Yeah.
Like our stuff, what we actually do
right.
is really freaking boring.
Yeah.
It is all the stupid, mundane,
But it,
system, nerdy stuff.
It
Yeah.
needs to happen.
but it is the base
Yeah.
to every business that
Right.
has to happen.
Yeah, it's just all the super unsexy part of the
Yeah.
sexy real estate world.
Yeah. And we briefly talked about it out there, but if that foundation isn't right,
Yeah.
everything can start to crumble, and it can crumble quickly.
Mhm.
You know what I
it's
mean?
anything
Like
in life,
anything.
right?
Yeah. If the foundation is not right,
Mhm.
like everything can crumble quickly. And that's what you guys do is support that foundation.
Right.
And you don't have to rebuild the entire foundation. It's
Right.
like, how do I just put some supports in there,
Yeah.
figure this thing out? But that's what all of us need,
The
because
boat's leaking.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're putting gum on it. Like,
Yeah.
you're just trying to figure out how
Or you
to.
just like row faster, right? Your
Yeah.
salespeople
Just
just
keep
go get
going.
more deals, go
Yeah.
get more transactions,
Yeah.
more leads. Let me just buy more leads. Like, no. It doesn't have to be that hard.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
We make things a lot harder than they have to be.
Yeah.
We really do. I think that's one of the things that, again, the individual agent that's out there that's listening to this probably needs you guys even more than like the team does, right? Because the team, like if you think about a Z or a Glover or any of those, like they hired all their ops people. Like
Right.
they're not that they're great people, but they hired them, right? Like they're
Sure.
there. But so this individual agent out there does like maybe that individual does 10 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a single agent.
Yes.
And
Yes.
people don't think it is, but it's a lot.
It is a lot.
And all of a sudden, like I'm doing all these deals. Prior to me, when I was just a single solo agent, I was doing 4 to 6 deals a month.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
lot.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
where are your best clients right now?
Yeah, they're on my follow-up us.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
probably haven't talked to them in
Probably
a year.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't get touched on stage. Yeah. I mean, I did an audit not too long ago for somebody else, like going through their past clients and like seeing if they bought with other people.
Yeah.
That hits.
That's the
Like-
one that hits you right in the feel good
Yeah,
parts. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like I try to, like, again, same thing. I set, but so I'm probably a little bit different only because I was solo for so long that I do. If you look at in my office, there's a yearly calendar up there.
Love that.
There's-
Shout out to Austin Chevron.
Yeah, there's and I sent him a picture of it. He goes, I don't see any family activities in there. I'm like, I'm like, those are in green.
Mhm.
Those are in
There we
green.
go.
They're all different colors.
Yeah.
There's like 3 or 4 different colors in there. The family stuff's all green.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, but he was double checking me.
Yeah.
Dave Petrulia said, good morning. He
Morning,
said,
Dave.
these ladies are awesome. Are you ready to add me as a client?
That's right, Dave. Let's go. New office is opening. Kim's opening a new office. It's gonna be great. I
Yeah.
think it's like this month they're putting all the final touches on it and stuff. So I haven't seen Dave in a minute because normally I'm in Kim's office at least once, if not twice a week. And so I bump into him all the time.
Yeah.
I love going over there. They're
Yeah.
all good people.
Well, it sounds like you just picked up another client because he's ready to add you as a client. You guys need to add him as a client? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dave, get over there. Jelly. Yeah. So I think what you guys are doing, lots of great points. International says good morning.
Ah.
Morning.
But yeah, I think the important thing is like agents have to understand what they're doing is not wrong.
Right.
They're just making it a lot harder on themselves.
Right.
you know, and that's you guys are like the pill that makes it a little bit easier, right? Like,
Mhm.
or you can make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Just depends on the engagement,
Right.
how much they want to invest, right? There's a whole thing to this.
Yeah.
But again, if you don't invest in stuff, it's just like everybody wants to buy more leads. Well,
Yeah.
Right.
Still requires work.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then just buying more leads doesn't always help,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because I have to tell when I'm coaching agents, it's like, you don't want more leads, you want more clients.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let me show you how to make those leads into clients
Right.
instead of just buying more leads.
Yeah.
You know, and again, then the system and the process to go ahead and do that. That's where you guys come in. Like, call Marissa,
Yeah.
call Brooke. I don't know what they're talking about.
And that's the part that like is interesting too, because like we don't want to have the sales conversations, right? Like
No.
we can sell, we have an ability.
Mhm.
I have no desire to
No one
train
is
you on
coming to
script.
me saying, "How do I make this cold call?" I would be
Right.
like, "Hi, my name's Brooke."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because we're also not cold callers. Like
No.
we're open house girls.
Sure.
And like we just built a really freaking cool
Yeah.
open house campaign for one of our clients. And he's not even hosting it. He's got someone else hosting his listing that's going live this weekend. And we take it from the scanning of the QR code, right? Versus a paper thing that's never going to make it into your system. And then again, I'm not following up with my 15 leads
Yeah,
that
we
I just
skipped
got.
that part. It automatically goes into your system.
Goes right into your system automatically, both of your systems, right? Your email newsletters and your CRM.
Mhm.
And then they get an hour later. This is all Brooke, right? She's the freaking genius behind all of these different campaigns. So it's an hour later, they
Yeah.
get an email.
Yeah, I think I might change it to make it a little sooner. The more it's been on my mind for like 12 hours. Basically, the point is they scan the QR code right when they walk in to sign in, right? So everyone has to sign in for sure. So that gets you name, email, phone number,
Absolutely.
right? And then that's immediately going to put them on a campaign. And the whole point is like, oh, when you sign in too, it's going to deliver you the disclosures.
Yeah.
So as soon as they get, that's what I'm going to add, I think. So as soon as they sign up, they'll immediately be given the disclosures and the flyer and everything will get instantly delivered to their
That
email,
is
right?
fantastic.
So I do that right now already for all my listings have a QR code that give you the flyer and the disclosures in one little packet as soon as you scan it. So that's the first thing that comes across immediately. And then an hour later, I made them like kind of funny. So they like start.
Okay, one of my favorite side things about Brooke, if you haven't met her or known her well, she cracks herself up all the time. And
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite things about her. Like she will literally just be working on an email, a new little, because again, she hand does these, right?
Yeah.
So for someone who doesn't
They're all,
take it
it's
on
all my
themselves,
brain.
like it's Brooke sitting there writing out your weekly emails.
Yeah.
So that's where they convert really well. Like we get amazing open rates, amazing clicks because she's sitting here typing like she's like talking to you. And so they're written from like a best friend to a friend. Like,
Mhm.
here's your date night, Jimmy. I know you already forgot. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have Valentine's plans.
I didn't
So
know
they're
Valentine's was
witty,
coming
they're
up.
sassy,
Yeah.
like they're fun. And so then people actually open and engage. Well, same thing with the campaigns. So yeah,
Right.
her like
Yeah.
open house one.
It's like, I think like the first line is like, I bet you already forgot or something. And it's like, dang, how old was that roof? Like whatever. It's like a joke. And then it like has the disclosures again. And then there's a link back to your website. And then here's my phone number. Give me a call if you have more questions, whatever.
Home value, if you're
Yeah.
selling, right? Like driving them into
Yeah.
your different
Yeah.
resources. Because again, you're paying for these things. Let's use them.
Right.
We put so much
Let's actually
energy in open
convert
houses.
them.
Like, why are we not like converting? Yeah.
Yeah.
So then like the next day, it's I did like gifts on all of them. So one of them is like this guy like looking through the window and he's like, just window shopping. I'm like, are you done like window shopping? Like what's going on? Like let's get serious. Like give me a call, let's come up with a plan, right? And I forget what the other one was. Oh, it's a real estate like meme. And it's like my favorite thing about helping people buy houses or something. It's something stupid and silly. But like every day, it's just pushing them back to your website, pushing them back to that house. And the whole
Or whatever
point is just
freebie
get them
you
at
have.
least as a buyer,
Yeah.
right? If they're not going to buy your listing,
Right.
let's convert them as a buyer lead.
Right. And so then even like if you have someone that's hosting your open houses, right? Maybe you are a bigger producer, or that medium producer where you've got multiple listings. We just told this agent that's hosting it for him, we're like, hey, we have sold this process to these sellers. They expect XYZ to happen. So
Right.
we have to use our QR codes. We're going to give you the entire list of leads that came in. So
Mhm.
you're going to get it right away that you can work them, nurture them, whatever. But I am not letting Joe Schmo hold my open house and never call those people again.
Right.
Right.
Because
Right.
again, Lord knows agents want like one time,
Yeah.
maybe.
And that's
one
like the
time.
hottest lead ever. Like this person
Yes.
left their house in the snow and ice to come view this one. how are we not, if they do not have a solid agent, how are we not converting them?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I always tell everybody too, like in the wintertime, these are serious buyers.
Yes.
There's not one tire kicker that goes out in the snow and ice and sleet that's just like, I just want to go look at a house today.
Right.
There's not one of those. Now in the
Right.
summertime, you might get one. Right now, like they are serious buyers right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
And-
make sure you get all the leads.
Yeah.
And we give the best chance for conversion. And then the person hosting it still gets full crack. Please follow
Sure.
up with them. Please bring me an offer. Like I'm not taking anything away from you by doing that. I'm just going to make sure that I also don't let it slip through the
Correct.
crack. And then I'm getting the leads from my listing and making sure that that all gets
Or like,
followed up
screw it,
on.
like,
And then they're
If
going to
I
get the newsletter
convert
once a
them-
week.
Yes. And then
Yes.
now they're on the newsletter.
Yeah.
or if I convert them and you help my open house, like, fine, you can have it, like, take it back. But like,
Sure.
now you're giving me the referral on it because I converted
Because
it.
I
for you.
converted
Right.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's genius.
Mhm.
But it's like I'm thinking about it. I'm like that again. I'm the guy that just went to an event and was like, "That's easy. I should do that."
Right.
Yeah, and then you're like,
And I
and
won't
then it
do
won't
it.
get done.
And then
Yeah, it
doesn't
won't get
happen.
done.
Or you'll
Yeah.
make the QR code that delivers the flyer and the disclosures, but you'll never make the follow up.
And
Right.
it won't connect to your
it
CRM.
won't connect to my-
And
yeah.
so then it doesn't.
You'll
sell-
make the
Yeah.
QR code and you won't even have the lead capture
Yeah.
on it. It just delivers the flyer.
Yeah, it's like a 90.
Yeah,
it's like a
there's no
90.
lead
It's like
capture.
it's like a 90%er. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a 90%.
Sign in,
90% of it
there's
will be
no
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the 10% where we the sand
It
through the
actually
fingers,
converts.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. It actually converts. And like you were saying with the leads, like, okay, cool, go pay for more leads. How will we convert what we have?
Right.
Right.
Let's
Well,
just,
you and I worked on that for years
yeah,
Mhm.
of people going, we need more leads. I'm like, no, we don't need. We have thousands,
right.
not just a couple. We
Right.
have thousands that pour in here
And
every
I
day.
bet you even the solo agents that are listening still have 1,000 leads.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
when they think that
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't. Like,
I always.
open up your phone.
How many people are in here?
How many are on your Facebook? How many
Yeah.
are on your phone?
Yeah.
And two, like we've helped people build out agent newsletters, like for people that are trying to attract. We've
Mhm.
helped other, like we're all real estate adjacent, right? And our niche truly is the realtor looking to attract clients. But a lot of it's the same. A lot of it's still selling, right? So like we have title, we've got lending, and we can support because it's all the same things, right? Like
Right.
a lender's trying to attract agents to
Yeah.
come and see their value. A title's trying to attract agents to come and see their value. So it's all real estate adjacent. Very much realtors doing that 5 to 45 million is like our sweet spot that we have found, which again is not what we initially
Yeah.
thought. We thought we'd be helping team leaders, which we have those as well.
I kind of like the individuals though.
The individuals are fun. Like
They
they're just
are.
more fun because
They're
like,
like, oh my
it's their
gosh.
baby. They're excited about it.
Right.
Where the team leaders like, okay, next,
Right.
next,
They
and like,
appreciate it. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
that
they-
high D.
Yeah.
Just like what's
Yeah.
like this. Move
and
on.
truly we're just then like an operating budget for them at that
Yeah.
point. Like
Yeah.
for the bigger teams where like the individual agents, we move the needle quickly for them and they feel
It's an
it 'cause
investment. Like
yeah.
we have to. Like you
Yeah.
have to deliver. Like
Not
Yeah.
that we don't for the teams, of
well,
course.
yeah,
Like, but it just the feeling is different.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, you also know it's stressing out the individual agent a lot more than it's stressing
Yeah.
out the team leader.
Yeah,
Right.
they don't-
Team
they
leaders, we
feel it
blow a lot of,
different.
we waste a lot of money, like
Right.
on dumb stuff.
Right.
But Sandy asked a question. It said all the leads from the open house getting the same newsletter.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you make them not too localized, right? So for example, locally here, I wouldn't make a newsletter for St. Clair Shores. I would make a newsletter for Macomb County,
Right.
right? So I would sprinkle anything with under 40 minutes
Yeah.
from like a local point is a good local newsletter because you would drive 30 minutes
Yeah.
to go somewhere, right? Like we drive to Troy. you
She'll
know?
put stuff in for like a show that's coming to Detroit. Like when
Yeah,
Broadway came
Broadway.
in through, she like would throw in like those different kind of things. So it's not literally like this newsletter gets this.
Yeah.
It's your East Side database
Yeah.
gets this newsletter. And we've got people that are multi-states. So then we've got two newsletters going for
Mhm.
them. Or we keep it more vague where it's here is your Thanksgiving pie recipe, right? Like if we've got a national client and she does a lot of referral business. So then we don't do anything local for
Yeah.
her. Like we just skipped that whole step and we went straight national. And it's here's my Amazon cart for your
Yeah, that's a
Christmas.
fun one. I
Christmas
do that
done
one a
for
lot.
you. Like
That's awesome.
download right there, right? So it's that instead of going hyper local, it's still hyper value. It's still something fun.
Right.
It's still
Yeah.
something relevant to like this time, right? Maybe it's here's a Valentine's Day kit that you can get for your kids off of Amazon, like a fun craft to do together. So it's still like relevant to this week of a fun thing
Right.
to do, but it's not like, okay, come to this restaurant in Troy, right? When
Yeah.
I live in Arizona.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
No, I love that though,
Mhm.
because it is true. Like, because hyper local is 40 minutes, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah.
Right? I think
For
that's
most
just like,
people.
Yeah,
know,
we tell people too.
it depends on where you live though. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people at Grosse Pointe, they're like, it just is Grosse Pointe.
It's Grosse
Yeah,
Pointe.
Grosse Pointe,
it's,
Grosse Pointe.
And if you were that, like, we've got a client
it's like
in Ann Arbor.
Birmingham, right?
Like Ann Arbor stays Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't go outside.
Yeah,
Ann
I don't
Arbor.
do anything else anymore.
Like Grosse Pointe would probably be same. Rochester probably same.
Yeah.
Like you stay niche. If you're that realtor and you've really, really like honed in on that database, because even still, like, okay, if my cousin lives in Plymouth, but I'm the Rochester realtor, I can still add them to that campaign. Like,
yeah.
because they might come to Rochester to see the lights for Christmas or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in general, like, again, most of the time it's going to be your county. Like, people
Yeah.
travel, you know?
Yeah.
So,
No, I love it. And all the things you guys are doing, again, that's why I really wanted to like have this
yeah.
organic conversation and not send you a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Is because so much more has come out than if you would have like written this down, you probably wouldn't have written down the story about going to the bathroom and coming up with a name. You wouldn't have written that
Yeah.
part down.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But now you've had the conversation.
Now you
about
just
how
talked
I would have been like, can I say that you went to the
to-
bathroom?
But see, then you question yourself. You didn't question it. You just ran with it.
Yeah.
Fair.
But which is what we do. Then we need you guys because
Mhm.
then we're just running with it, like with our hair on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the next thing? What's the next thing for Are You Consulting? What's the next year look like?
Ooh, good question. So we
Marissa?
we
You're the task one. You should be writing all that.
No, she has to tell me what the next year is
Oh,
and tell
okay.
me what to do.
Got
yeah, yeah. We basically we're trying to get, because we just hit capacity, right? Like we have proposals out for people that we can't not fulfill, but like timelines, right? Like we have to put people almost on a hold. Luckily, we haven't had to turn anyone away, but like we have to, because we only onboard one person every 2 weeks to make sure that we can over deliver, because those first 2 weeks are heavy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're getting into all of your things. So we're hitting capacity, right? And luckily it's naturally worked out where people are like, okay, I'm going to start next month with you, where it's like, cool. So then we get a person that jumps in and wants to start next week. We can do both. Like the answer is yes to both, right? So it's just naturally all fit, but we're still hitting capacities. Like again,
We're leveraging now, yeah.
yeah, we've got 2 assistants now. So like that was our big thing that we brought on this month, because for those of you who don't know me, I'm having a baby this year, my
Yeah.
first baby.
Mhm.
So
Oh, there's our applause meter. There we go.
I'm so excited. It's my baby too.
yeah. It's Aunt B, but it's also
Aunt
her
B.
baby. Yeah, very much so. So we brought in 2 assistants to just be able to help with workload and stuff. And because it's in June. So Austin, like he's a big mentor of mine. So like we talked through like, okay, what does this next year look like, right?
Yeah.
Like we need to plan ahead for that. When do we stop taking on those new one-on-one clients? What does it look like to make sure that no one feels any downtime? And it's not like I'm probably a workaholic to a fault. So like I will probably be working from the hospital bed because I'm just a crazy person. And I
Great.
love it. Like
Yeah.
I love
Mhm.
it. I love what I do. I love our clients. But realistically, there's going to be some downtime. So we have pivoted where we're working on, that's where you've probably seen us like annoying about newsletters, because we're really trying to pivot where this year we're focused more on scaling our more do-it-yourself offers.
Okay.
Because we've been testing now for 7-8 months, and
Sure.
we've got basically a lot of the templates built out. Most people need the same 4 or 5 things. So we've really honed in those, and we're like, all right, cool. Here, it's templated for you, ready to go. Here's your prompt. And then you want 1 call a month to make sure you're good to go. Awesome. So we're kind of pivoting a little bit this year where that's going to be more our ideal client, is serving that based on just coming in and giving you your 1 or 2 things, like solving a really niche problem for people, because we can just scale that easier.
Or the open houses. Right?
Yeah, the
Like,
open house is like, here's your campaign, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Jimmy,
here's
you want that? Here you go.
Yeah.
like, and it'll be little things, right? Where it's like, here's your $24 and you've got, here's the template for this. And you can do for every open house going forward.
Yeah.
Like, and again, because we know realtors, right? They'll be like, oh, $24, done.
Yeah.
Done, like done. So we can do a bunch of that where our capacity, we hit much quicker with the one-on-one stuff,
Right.
which we'll always do. We
yeah.
love our one-on-one clients. It's been so fun, like diving into
Even
their
on Zoom?
businesses, even on Zoom.
Uh-huh.
Even on Zoom. No,
They're like my best friends now. I feel like.
yeah. Like we just chat with them all the time. We love our one-on-one clients, but truly like this next year is going to be more like our energy when we talk about building, growing next level. It's towards those one-time offers. Like what else can we provide? What is
Right.
that niche-y thing, the one-time solution or template that we can come up with that a 10,000 people need, right?
Right.
And how do we
Right.
serve that one thing? So the newsletters has been our current one that's been going well.
Ads.
And while we're experimenting with ads right now,
just put it in the universe.
yeah,
Because I want
put it
us
out
to get
there.
really good at it.
And like ads, we kind of stumbled into it, and like Kim was kind of a big part of it, to be honest, is she was looking for someone to hire for ads, which we do a lot of hiring for our clients because we're not always going to be the solution, right? And we don't want to be a long-term investment for you. We want to come in, build everything out, hire a full-time admin for you or assistant or virtual assistant or whatever. And then we should be stepping out. We should be transitioning out, or maybe we're just strategy, or maybe we're just
Because you guys are looking for a job.
No.
Yeah.
We don't want
Well, you're like, oh.
Yeah,
No.
we do not want full-time jobs. We're not
Yeah.
going to be your director of operations. Like, we're going to come in, we're going to overhaul, we're going to get you well-oiled. And most people, and this is something realtors I don't think naturally do well with, 3 to 9 months. It's not this month. It's not even next month.
Trust
it's
me.
3 to 9 months.
I know that all too well.
Yeah,
Like, I know that all too well.
It takes some time. But then truly, like, we do want to transition out for people.
Yeah.
So that is kind of like how this next year is going to look. We're going to be transitioning out with a few people, bringing in more like one-time things, still working with one-on-one clients and all that fun. Like, we do love it. We'll always do it.
It'll be
in some
interesting
capacity.
to see.
Yeah.
Just, again, had that conversation last night. Like, everything just works out how it's supposed to.
Yeah,
Right? You
it
can't
does.
overplan it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the thing is, when you're good people and you're surrounded by good people and you have the support and the
Some people are just not right fits, and that's okay.
it is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is okay. And again, we did the EOS thing, right?
Yeah.
It's the right seats, it's the right thing, which is all still very true.
Yeah.
Right? Because you might have the right people. They just might not be in the right area. I just had Ken Hirschman on a couple weeks ago, and he said the same thing with his team. Like, as his team is growing, and he's getting ready to open a third location in Grand Rapids. So he's got the one in Royal Oak. He's got the one in
Ken's
Romeo.
killing it. He's
Yeah.
awesome. He's good people.
And he said, well, that's the thing, right? He
Yes,
said,
people.
like, he's like, I had to move people
Sure.
into different roles. Like, I just figured out, like, well, I really like you, but this is not
your seat.
this is not working.
Right.
But I don't want to lose you, so I just need to make some moves.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things he brought up too, and I think you guys will appreciate this, is that he said, because I asked about locations, like, he's opening in Grand Rapids, and I said, why Grand Rapids? He goes, it's about the agent, not about the location.
Interesting.
He found the right agent to
Okay.
work with. The location will always work.
Sure.
Yeah.
I needed the right
I would have
person to
thought
run
that was
it.
referrals. Like, there was probably enough business coming back and forth between Grand Rapids and here that, like, then he went and found an agent. But it sounds like he found the agent first, and like
Yeah.
the business will just follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Good for him. Oops. Over here kicking stuff.
That's okay. Dave said it ended. Oh, I don't know what happened. He said, but we're back. We're here.
Oh.
But we
We'll
got
be down for a minute.
we've got about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got about 2 minutes. So where can we find RU Consulting? Where can we find you guys?
Best is probably Instagram or Facebook.
Okay.
That's where we put out most of our
Is it
offers, our opportunities.
RU, like, is it?
Spelled out. So AREYOU
Okay.
Consulting. Or just find us both on Facebook. We've got personal Facebook, personal Instagram, and like that's usually the best way to connect with us. We do have a website, RU Consulting, again, just all spelled out. It's all the same. You can find our newsletters and like that, and like exactly what we do. But again, best on Instagram. That's probably where we like post and engage the most.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll share all those links in the Elite Real Estate Podcast
Perfect.
channels and all that stuff. So
Give you all the goods.
yeah, that's it. So, but man, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thanks for
You thought it was
having
going to be a
us.
lot longer. There was just an hour.
I was slightly miserable, but I did it. Kidding.
Real question. Are you happy you did it?
I feel indifferent.
Okay.
Just say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Just say yes. That's it. That's it.
I
So
promise she's more fun than this, guys. Like, this is not a good representation of Brooke. She's actually a really good time.
it's just too early for her.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just too early in
So
the morning.
funny.
That's the only thing. So, all right, guys, appreciate it. The Elite Real Estate Podcast, KGCI Radio, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, all the places you are. And I appreciate you guys. We'll see you next Friday as well. And we'll be back. But Are You Consulting? Go find these ladies. Get your business straightened out.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.